Hello and welcome again to a new episode of Let's Play World of Warcraft Storytime. Yeah, you see in the top right hand corner at my clock it's 2 AM in the morning, and yeah, I'm not that tired, so I thought why not give you all 2 new episodes. So I will record 2 episodes. Right now it looks like we will have a new episode, or well, we had a new episode on the last Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. Saturday should be this episode, and of course Sunday, which is why I'm recording 2 new episodes to fit that schedule. Yeah, what's gonna be the topic of the day? Well, last time we talked about events that occurred a long ass fucking time ago, to quote Jack Black, and we talked about the beginning of the world. We talked about the war against the old gods and the becoming of the aspects. Now I want to focus about events that are only a long ass time ago without the fucking in it. So we are going to talk about the War of the Ancients, because the War of the Ancients is something that is pretty much alive today, even today, and it all began in the Night Elven kingdom of Zin Azshari, within the continent of Kalimdor, before the shattering occurred, before the continents drifted apart, before the Horde was formed, before everything else that we know today was there. So, what are we talking about? We are talking about the adventures of a few Night Elves, whom we are talking about after we turn in the quest.
What now?
From birth to grave to undeath, we all have our own path to follow. Some are easier than others. It sounds like this Voss girl has had a rough path so far. Hopefully she ultimately chooses to join us and follow the Dark Lady. With powers like hers, we could do incredible things. By the way, Rianko, excellent work out there. If you're ever ready and willing, I may have some more work for you in the Plaguelands. Which means we are pretty much finished here, and my inventory is full. We have a vendor here. Vendor, there is an orc.
What do you need?
Yo, bro, thank you very much for letting me use you as a getaway from loot I don't need.
Strength.
So,
I am
getting this stuff again. Oh, sorry, I did forget for a second that I want to read the quest text.
What would you ask?
There isn't much more glory for you here on the Bulwark, Rianko. You've done enough already. There may, however, be further adventures waiting in Silverpine Forest. Speak with my Batman, Timothy Cunningham. He'll give you a ride to Brill free of charge. Thank you. Nice. Do you have some venom from a vicious night web spider yet, Rianko? It is the final component I need in order to test my experiment. Ah, this one will do perfectly, Rianko. Everything else has been added to my concoction and boiled down. Thank you, warrior.
Dark Lady.
Yeah, and no, that's what I call. I wish all our potions did this. Yeah, they don't. They don't.
Speak quickly.
To bigger and better things. Sure, I'll give you a ride. Fire Executor Darrington asks for it, then technically I have to. Nice. If you're headed back to Brill, you'll want to stop by Executor Zygant on your way out. I hear there's some excitement going on in Silverpine Forest to the south. You know more than I do. Speak with me again when you're ready to head out.
Remember,
I am ready to head out. Yes, so flying back to Brill. We already we are already on that quest, so I don't think he will give us anything more. Yeah, talking about the War of the Ancients, which occurred 10,000 years ago, and we follow the adventures of 3 young night elves who are named Tyrann the Whisperwind, Furion Stormrage, and of course Illidan Stormrage, who will be a part in the new World of Warcraft add-on Legion, which is coming out, I think, next year somewhere. But the date has not been confirmed yet. But before we talk about this huge event that occurred all this time ago, firstly we will need to talk to Executor Zygant, because the quest demands of us to talk to him.
What is it?
Welcome back, Rianko. I've heard stories from the east. Who would have thought that a young undead warrior like you would have been the one to wipe out the last whimpering remnants of the Scarlet Crusade?
Trust no one.
So, we are pretty much done here, and we didn't visit the Undercity. I thought we would. Thought there was a quest, but simply enough there isn't. Yes, this is a statue of Sylvanas the Windrunner, the Magic Queen. Yeah. So, before we talk about this event that occurred 10,000 years ago, we need to get a little bit less ahead. Right now, at this point in the story, we are near the present day, before the Cataclysm, and we are located outside of Orgrimmar, or inside of Orgrimmar, which is in Kalimdor in Durotar, right here. And the war chief of the so-called Horde is none other than Thrall, or Gorel, how his parents called him. There is a suspicious anomaly. No one pretty much knows what it is, but the Farseers, the shamans of the Horde, they have located where this anomaly occurs. And Thrall, in his position as war chief, sends out 2 orc warriors to scout the area. And one of those warriors is a young warrior who I don't think was particularly named, but yeah, he was just there. Just say he was there. So the other one, of course, is Broxigar. And Broxigar, I think, is the brother of High Overlord Sorfang, if I recall correctly. And those 2 were charged with scouting the area. So what they did is they went there to check on it. But, and now we get to another one who needs to check on this anomaly, because Nosdormu, the Timeless One, who we have been talking about, he has been missing. And there is one mage within Dalaran who looks like a high elven mage, but in fact is a red dragon. Who am I talking about? Of course, the one and only Crassus, or as he's called in the dragon tongue, Corialstras. He is the prime consort to Alexstrasza, the Lifebinder, and he goes there to investigate. While investigating, he, as well as Broxigar, are sucked into the anomaly and catapulted into a time 10,000 years ago. They are catapulted near the Night Elven capital of Zin Ashari, ruled by the wonderful and powerful, beautiful Queen Azjara, who some of you may know as the leader of the Naga nowadays. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's focus on the 3 protagonists I mentioned. Those 3 have been very, very busy, and all of their paths, as intertwined as they are, they all led into a different direction. Tyrann the Whisperwind, a follower of Elune, the Night Elven goddess of the moon, She trained to be a priest. She trained to be one of those who spread the word of Elune to others, who heal others, who pray and use what gifts the Night Mother would grant them. Malfurion, on the other hand, he had different things in mind. Malfurion was on his way to his Shandor, his teacher, who is called Cenarius, the demigod, and he taught Malfurion to be the world's first druid. But before we continue, we have a quest to turn in, so let's see what Grand Executor Mortus has to say. Most excellent! A new recruit has arrived. There is much to do. Much to do, I say.
Victory.
You're just in time, Riankonob. It is Riankonobe, right? Grand Executor Mortus looks at a sheet of paper. Yes, that's what the paperwork says. Riankonob. Grand Executor Mortus points to your name on the sheet of paper. Where was I? Ah, yes. You're just in time. The war chief should be arriving at any moment to meet with our leader and savior, the Dark Lady herself. Just stand by and be at your best behavior. I expect that when this demonstration is over, we will all receive commendations. So, just to give a little bit of context here, this all is, as I already have been said, after the cataclysm, after the fall of Arthas is dead, and War Chief of the Horde is Garrosh Hellscream, son of Grommash Hellscream. He's a little bit of a hothead, trying to provoke the Alliance into war, trying to conquer all of Kalimdor for the Horde, for his Orcish Horde, of course. He's pretty much like the Japanese. Any casualty that is not an Orc isn't worth considering. So, where he is a little bit of, prejudiced against other races, he still tries to keep this horde together with in the range of the cataclysm. That may change in the future. Well, I know if it changes in the future, but that is a story for another day. Right now, the war chief Garrosh Hellscream is visiting Sylvanas for a little demonstration, and let's see what this demonstration is going to be.
Remember,
Where is that ogre-headed buffoon?
discipline.
Ah, speak of the devil.
This better be important, Sylvanas. You know how I detest this place and its foul stench. Why have you called for me? And more importantly, what are those scourge fiends doing here?
War Chief, so glad you could make it. With the death of the Lich King, many of the more intelligent Scourge became unemployed. Those fiends, as you so delicately put it, are called Valkyr. They are under my command now. And they are part of the reason that I asked to see you.
Get on with it, Sylvanas!
Very well, War Chief. I have solved the plight of the Forsaken. As a race, we Forsaken are unable to procreate. With the aid of the Valkyr, we are now able to take the corpses of the fallen and create new Forsaken. Agatha, show the War Chief.
Aberration!
What you have done here, Sylvanas, it goes against the laws of nature. Disgusting is the only word I have to describe it.
War Chief, without these new Forsaken, my people would die out. Our hold upon Gilneas and Northern Lordaeron would crumble.
Have you given any thought to what this means, Sylvanas? What difference is there between you and the Lich King now?
Isn't it obvious, War Chief? I serve the Horde.
Watch your clever mouth, bitch. Chromosh, you stay behind and make sure the Banshee Queen is well guarded. I will be expecting a full report when next we meet.
As you command, War Chief.
Remember, Sylvanas, eventually we all have to stand before our Maker and face judgment. Your day may come sooner than others.
So, that was the meeting between Garrosh and our beloved Banshee Queen. But let's see what Grand Executor Mortus has to say about it. Well, that was unexpected. I'm not one to doubt a War Chief, but never mind. We have work to do. I'm sure the Dark Lady and the War Chief will get this all worked out.
Trust no one.
The battle over this region still rages, Arianko. Although we soundly beat back the Gilnean defenses and took Gilneas for the Horde, a small group of rebels managed to escape. The Gilneas Liberation Front, as they call themselves, make attacks of opportunity against our forces in the field. The rebels have had a few minor victories and now grow brazen in their assaults. The time to strike back is now, Arianko. Venture south into the wilds of Silverpine and kill any rebel that you cross.
Beware the
Okay,
living.
okay. That's nice of you to say. So, getting back here to get our quests and then we can talk again. You have no doubt heard about the incident that transpired at the Wrathgate in the Northrend, yes? Due to those unfortunate events, we are strictly forbidden from using the strain of life-shattering blight that we finally perfected. Now we have rules and regulations and other nonsense. They've given us some neutered version of the perfected blight and expect us to weaponize it. If I'm to get this crap functional, I'll need several bags full of ferocious doomweed. You'll find it all over Silverpine. Okay, I will. And High Apothecary Shanna Tween. If we're to get this new blight up and running, we'll need clean beast guts. The problem is that clean beast guts are a rare commodity in Silverpine Forest. Most of the beasts here have succumbed to disease and thus only have diseased organs. Do a sweep of the forested area east of here for walks and grizzled bears. Kill only the non-diseased variety and rip out their entrails. Bring me all of the clean guts that you can stuff into your backpack. Okay. So, we were talking about the War of the Ancients. We had, just to give a little bit of recap, before I was so rudely interrupted by Garrosh Hellscream, we were talking about Illidan, Malfurion and Tyrande. Tyrande was the High Priestess, the one who thought or wanted to serve their goddess Elune in life and prayers and so forth. Malfurion, whereas, was the one who wanted to become the first druid. And we didn't talk about Illidan, because Illidan Stormrage, twin brother of Malfurion Stormrage, he had different things in mind. He was the one who lusted for power. All he wanted was great power. He wanted to be feared and revered by his beloved Tyrande Whisperwind. For he and Malfurion, they both loved the same woman. And so they quarreled over her, and Illidan tried to become something that was very highly looked upon in Night Elven society. He wanted to become a highborn, a mage, a wizard. He wanted to learn to cast spells. He wanted to protect his people. And that is where our story starts. Because Malfurion and his brother Illidan, they both have golden eyes. And golden eyes in Night Elven society mean only one thing. The one with those eyes is destined to do great things. So, Illidan as well as his brother, they both have this gift, this prophecy hanging over their heads. Both of them doing what they think best. And that is important. That is really, really important. Always, what I'm telling you now, always remember, Illidan as well as Malfurion, both of them do what they think is right. They do what they think is best. And that is the important side note you need to remember while I tell the story. I haven't read the books in a long time, so I hope I get the story together. But I wanted to read them anyway, so I may read them again in the future and correct if I have some mistakes over the story. But there also is a comment section, and I think there may be some people dedicated to correct me, also called internet trolls, but sometimes they're right too, so let them correct my mistakes. Yes. We are meeting those three characters in a time of their lives where they decided what they wanted to do. They all followed their own unique paths. And now what happens is that some highborn, some sorcerers, they are at the palace with Queen Azrada, and they are working on a new spell, something bigger, something better, something no one has seen before. What could that be? What could be the thing that no one has ever thought before? That thing is a portal, a massive, gigantic portal. They used the Well of Eternity to reach out to the stars, to reach out to other life forms. And one life form answered. There is someone within the great beyond, the dark beyond, the twisting nether, who always answers if he's called. And his name is not Beetlejuice, but close enough. His name is Sargeras, the corrupt titan. He is trying to corrupt this land. He wants to conquer Azeroth for his own. He wants to destroy all and every life form on this planet. But, and that is where I'm not really sure. I think neither Azrada nor any of the Highborn know who Sargeras is. They kind of learn what he is and simply ignore it, but they don't know from the start. They think they're talking to a god. They think they are talking to the most powerful being in the universe. They think they are talking to a benevolent, and benevolent is the word that is important here, god. So what are they doing? They focus their efforts. Sargeras guides them into perfecting the portal, to ready the portal for his arrival. And yeah, the Highborn happily oblige. So, while the portal is being strengthened not only by the Well of Eternity over which it is opened, but also by all the Highborn sorcerers serving at the court of Azrada. So, what is the Well of Eternity? That is also something we need to discuss before getting into the story more. The Well of Eternity is a well, of course. It wouldn't be called the Well of Eternity if it wasn't a well. But the Well of Eternity is the source of all magic. The closer we get to the well, the more powerful your magic gets. The more raw power you can control, the more things you can do. And that is why the Night Elven capital of Zin Ashari was located right next to the well. But how the story continues, what comes through that portal, what's the end game of Sagras, and what our heroes can do to stop the imminent demise of their world. All of those questions may be answered in the next episode, maybe not. 25 minutes is a little bit short to sum up all of the story of the War of the Ancients, but I will try to give you as much of the story as possible, so we will see each other again in the next episode. See you then. Ta-ta for now.